guys, and welcome back to Word of Advice TV. Have you heard of the saying, work harder, not smarter? No, I'm kidding, it's the other way around. It's work smarter, not harder. If you have a Windows operating system, 7, 8, or 10, you're gonna find this video delightful. We're gonna go over keyboard shortcuts, and this one is gonna be the Control series. So all the shortcuts involving the Control button. I personally have Windows 7, and I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you, and let's just dive right in. So here you see my screen. And the first shortcut we're going to kick off this video with is the Select All feature. So if you press the Control button and hold it and press the letter A, everything on the page will be selected, regardless of what program you're in. So for example, if we go to Microsoft Word and see the shortcuts I'm going to be talking about today and press Control A here, everything is selected as well. Let's go back to this screen. And also, if you are in a search box or a text box, for example, let's type in Word of Advice TV. If you are in a search box and you press Control A, instead of highlighting the whole entire page, it'll only highlight whatever is in the search box. Or for example, the address bar up on top right here, if I press Control A here, it'll select the whole thing as well. Which leads us into the next shortcut, which is the one I use most often, which is Control C. And what that does is it copies the text that you have selected. So if I go ahead and press Control C while I have this stuff highlighted, that YouTube link right there, and then I go to my search bar and I press Control V, which stands for paste, that will pop that right out. So in essence, all you're doing is, instead of highlighting everything manually, right-clicking on it and pressing copy, and then going here, right-clicking and pressing paste, it's a lot easier to just press Control A, Control C, and Control V. Boom. Those are the three shortcuts of the Control series that I use most often. If you're not using them yet, I totally guarantee it, you're gonna love it. Your life is gonna be changed forever. Next up, we have Control Z. And what Control Z does is it means undo the previous action. So for example, if I delete TV, and we'll delete advice, and we'll delete the whole thing. And then I start pressing Control Z, that undoes my previous action, right? So if I press Control Z, that brings back Word, and you can keep pressing it to keep undoing your previous actions. So once again, this is Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. That brings everything back. This is an awesome feature for if you accidentally delete something. Let's say you're typing up a document in Microsoft Word. For example, all these shortcuts that I'm going to talk to you about today, if I were to accidentally delete them, boom, I can press Control Z and it brings them right back. Which brings us into the next shortcut, which is Control Y. If I press Control Y, it basically redoes, it's a redo of the previous action. So pretty much the opposite of Control Z. It does whatever you did previously over again. And I gotta tell you, I use Control Z a lot more than I use Control Y, but just so you're aware, it is there if you ever need it. The next shortcut is Control S, which is mainly used in Microsoft Word or in text documents. So if you're typing, to save your document as you're typing real quick so you don't have to interrupt yourself, go to File, press Save. What you can do is just press Control S, and that saves your file. That just happened to my wife recently, and she was pretty upset. If only she just pressed Control S every once in a while, she wouldn't have lost half an hour of work that she put into that document. Next up, we have Control F. So let's go to Amazon.com for example purposes. And Control F toggles the search feature. So you can search the page that you're on for keywords. So for example, if I press Control F, it toggles the search feature right here. So if I type in shop, it tells me that there's 5 results, which means that the word shop is used 5 times on this page. So if I press the next button right here, it brings me to the next shop word, which is on the bottom of the page. If I press next again, it brings me to the next one. And as you can see, the ones in yellow, it just highlights everything in yellow, the word shop. And then the one in orange is the one that's currently selected. So if I press next right there, orange, orange, boom, boom. And just as another example, let's go to eBay.com, press Control F, and let's use that same shop word. And in eBay, apparently it's better to shop in eBay. Look at all the shopping you can do in eBay. It's twice as much as Amazon. And there you go. The word shop right there is highlighted in orange, and the rest of them are highlighted in yellow. So you can just toggle the button right here, it will scroll through the whole page, showing you every single place where the word chop is located on that page. And then of course, to exit out of that feature, you just press the X button and that cancels out the search. Next up, we have Control P, as in Peter. And what that does is toggle the print menu. So if you're on some web page, or if you're on Google and you pulled up some image, you can press Control P and that'll bring up your print menu right away. And then you can just press Escape to cancel out of that screen. The next shortcut I use pretty frequently as well, and that one is pretty simple. You just press Control and T, as in Thomas, and that pulls up a new tab. And if you keep pressing it, that pulls out many new tabs. You can close them all back up. And move on to our next shortcut, which happens to be the Control and then the plus and minus signs. So the plus and minus signs are to the left of your backspace button. So if you press Control and the minus sign, for example, it will zoom out of the page. You could go pretty small. So if for some reason you're on a page that is gigantic, you can press Control minus, or if you have a small screen, and it'll zoom out for you. And if you press Control plus, that will zoom in. So if you're on a small page, you can really zoom in, or if you want to see more detail on something. So for example, look how huge eBay is. And I mean, instead of reading glasses, you could just do this every day, huh? And usually by the time you are done scrolling through the zoomed in page and you try to press Control minus, you tend to forget where you were, what is the normal setting. Some computers will have this reset button, like mine right here, or some browsers I should say. But if you don't have that reset button, all you gotta do is press Control 0, and that reverts your screen back to the normal size. This next shortcut is only for the people that don't have a Windows button on their keyboard. The Windows button toggles the start menu, like that. And if you don't have that Windows button, if you press Control Escape, that will toggle your start menu for you. Once again, that's only useful for people who don't have the Windows button. If you have the Windows button, then it's a lot easier to just press that instead. This next shortcut I also use quite a bit. So if you type in any word, for example, Amazon, or any site I should say, Amazon, and if you press Control Enter, that will add the W's and the .com for you, for any site. So for example, let's go to Shopify, and if I press Control Enter, boom, it adds the W's and the .com. This is so awesome, let's do one more. eBay, boom, www.com. Yes, youtube.com, boom. This one's a total life changer too. If you start using it, you're gonna love it. And last but not least, we got just the Control button by itself. So, you know how you can select files or folders or pictures or whatever on your computer? So, see how I can only select one at a time? If you want to select multiple files at the same time, instead of saying, let's say I want to delete this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Instead of deleting them one at a time, that becomes tedious. What you can do is press Control and hold it, and then that enables you to select multiple files at a time. And then I can delete them all as a group by right-clicking. So that's a pretty awesome feature. I use this all the time too, on my desktop especially, because I have like a gazillion icons on there. Unfortunately, all good things come to an end. That was the last control shortcut I had for you. If I missed any that you know of that you use frequently, please do let me know in the comments below what you use. Or if you have some new favorite shortcuts that you started using, I would like to hear about that too. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out my other videos. I also made a series on the Windows shortcuts, the F1 through F12 series, other Windows combination series. For example, in fact, let's come back to my screen. All we covered in this video was these control shortcuts right here. And in my document here, we also have Windows shortcuts, function button shortcuts, Windows shortcuts you will love, and also awesome tools Windows provides, which is 5 different videos. So if you really like this one, make sure you check out the other ones. If you know any people who aren't very good with the computer, share this video with them. That'll totally revolutionize their life. Don't forget to mash that like button on your way out. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.